Hello, this will be another in the series of the endless road variations of Master Kuo Lien Ying's Northern Shaolin form Tan Tui. And in these lessons, we'll try to cover the last three roads, 8, 9, and 10. They're fairly difficult and complex. Not so much the changes, but the roads themselves. And of course, as I said in the last video, this is for practitioners who have already studied the 10 road lessons that I presented in the playlist. This is not to teach the roads, but to show you a different variation, a different way of performing the roads. And again, the movements and the changes in doing this endless road variation, which is stationary like a treadmill, are universal to all Kung Fu and footwork. It's not particular to this particular style. You can use it in your Guanping Tai Chi, you can use it in other Shaolin forms, other Kung Fu forms. It's not really that different. But I'm showing in particular to respect to Sifu's Northern Shaolin how to apply this particular footwork. So the footwork for the last three rows are going to be very similar to the footwork that you learned in the very first 2 or 3 rows, which is just a foot exchange. Nothing really fancy, but it's just knowing where and how to apply it in these particular roads. So again, as in previous videos, I'll do a demonstration of the traditional road, unabbreviated, in its long form manner. And then I'll talk a little bit about the movements in the line, the form, the road. And then I'll talk about the changes that we need to make it more stationary and not moving forward, so you can do it in the space that you need. We'll start off with a demonstration of the 8th road of Master Kuo Lien Ying's Tan Tui. I'm only going to do one side. It takes 2 sections to make one side and takes up a lot of space. So instead of trying to do both sides in this small space, I'm just going to do a demonstration of one side. And of course the other side is the same, just repeat it. It takes 2 sections again to make one complete side. We're going to go ahead and go through a brief description of the movements in this 8th road. Again, they're not meant to teach the road, but to kind of give you kind of a starting place on where we are as I try to make the changes. Again, the roads 6 through 10 start off on the bow and arrow position, except for line 9, for 9th road. The bow and arrow, drop down, block to the groin and the forehead, swing up with a double block, punch out to the side, forearm block to the center, then a toe back kick into the front bow position, bow stance. That's one side. The second is exactly the same up to the point of where you're going to do the kick. So again, for the bow and arrow, drop down, double block, punch out to the side, forearm block, kick. So you're going to repeat this on the other side. Drop down, come up, double block, punch to the side. After this kick, you're going to do the spin into the crossover stance. Back in, kick into the crossover, punch out to the back, kick, and step forward. So now we're going to go into the endless road variation and show the difference in the footwork that you need to change in order to stay more in a stationary area. Again, starting off from the bow and arrow stance. Okay, you're going to drop down as normal and come up, double block. Punch out to the sides on both sides. After this block here, where you would normally go kick and go forward, you're just going to do the toe back kick and then go into the forward bow stance and the punch. So again, it's going to look like this. Here's the change. So now you're basically in the same bow position, bow stance position, and then you're going to drop down here, come back up, and double block. So this foot, knee, will be in the same place here. So now you're going to do the left forearm block, you're going to do the kick and the spin into the crossover. And then from here you're going to do the kick and then step back into your step back stance. Then drop down. And then you're just going to repeat that over and over. So you can see that's pretty simple. All you're going to use is the switch stance back into the bow stance after each of the kicks. And simple as that. So I'm not going to go into super detail. I think that that's enough. And then let's go into the ninth row next. So this will be a demonstration of the traditional ninth road of Master Kuo Lien Ying's Tan Tui. And I'm going to start with my back towards you because we'll be going in this direction. Start from the ninth road. You don't start, go into the bow and arrow to start the road. You just go directly from the crane position. So. I went into the bow and arrow after the ninth road because the 10th road, you start from the bow and arrow position. In demonstrating the moves, I'll start off facing the camera so that I can talk directly to you and you can kind of see better. So again, from the crane position, you're going to step forward in the bow stance and coming down into protecting your front area with a cross block. And again, as I said in the instructional videos, keep your fingertips high so you're not jamming them down in case you get kicked and break your fingers. So you want your fingers kind of pointing horizontal or higher here. And then you're going to sweep into the beacon as you kind of clear. And then clearing the area before you do the pointed toe kick. And then stepping down as you change the hands. From here, In my instructions, I tell you that you could do the same side so that you remember which side you're on. So every time your left eye is forward, your left hand is over. But you could do it opposite as well, but just make sure you change in between here, like that. Also in the timing, you can vary the timing from simultaneous into the bow, and then when you do the sweep, like that. Or you could do here, sweep back first, kick, step in the bow, come down. The second one is if you're just learning and doing it slower, that's probably preferable. So again, I'm going to start off facing the camera so that I can speak more freely to you, and also that you can see better. And in the changes, it's very, very simple. All we're going to do is just use exactly the same foot exchange into the bow stance as we did in the last line and the other two lines in 1, 2, and 3. So again, from here, down, here. As soon as you sweep back and do the kick, then over here. Sweep back, kick. So the only thing you have to remember is to wait to you plant to do the block. You just kind of go by your feeling, and you kind of feel when to do that block. So for that ending of the stationary, I just took a step forward so I could do the turn. So now we'll go into the description of the moves in the 10th road. Again, starting from the bow and arrow stance. Right beak hand going back, sweep with the left, brush the knee, drop into the drop stance, chopping down, beak hand. Come up, strike forward with blade hand strike. Come back, and then a double jumping scissors kick to pointed toe. Step forward in the bow stance and strike. So we're going to go into the changes to do the 10th road into a more stationary treadmill version. In developing your own style and form and understanding, it's good to look at the commonality of the movements. And again, later on when we go into changing the lines from one line to another, finding the common denominator of the lines and movements that are similar so you can change from one movement right into another. Think of it as like, remember we used to have those Tinker toys with a hub, and then you had a spoke, a dowel for the spoke, and you could build different things by putting that spoke in. That's what changes in Kung Fu is like. You get to a hub, a center, and that in all of the styles that I've ever practiced, you'll find that there's a center of the movement where it can kind of emanate into the change. And so when looking at the 10th road, one of the common factors on this road is the blade hand strike back into the bow here, right? And then you do the kick, and then you do the same. So we're going to apply again that footwork change right before you do the change into the forward bow stance. And so you're just going to step back at that point. And it's going to happen twice on each side because each side has two sections that comprise the one side. And again, I'm just demonstrating one side because the other side is exactly the same on the opposite side. And I'm sure by this time you'll be able to pick it up and do the changes yourself. So again, from the beginning, the bow and arrow stance. Okay, you're going to come back, sweep, drop down, and then come up. So here, when you do the scissor kick, you want to do the scissor kick here. But if you did it like that without any changes in the other foot part of the footwork, you're going to be progressing one step. So you're going to have to do two changes in this one side. So where are we going to put in that change? Well, it's going to be when you step into the drop stance, okay? So this is like a little bit new. You're still using exchange footwork, but it's going to be placed here. Here, instead of sweeping back and stepping out a full step into the drop stance, you're going to change your footwork here, step down. Now you're in the same area, same stance here. And then come back, kick, step back here. Okay, then you're going to, on this side, sweep, down, kick. Here. So you haven't moved forward any because you're using two changes in your footwork to stay in the same place. So let's go over that one more time. From the bow and arrow stance, sweep back. Instead of stepping forward like that into the falling drop stance, from here, just set down right there where your back foot is and do the exchange into the falling stance so you're in the same stance as you. Okay, back. Okay, the jumping scissors kick, step, back. So you need to end up on this side here. And then the strike with the blade hand strike. Then you're going to come back, set your right foot back down into an exchange into the falling stance. And then double jumping scissors kick. Step back into the bow stance, strike. Okay, then the sweep, and then you set back down here, and so forth.